Good evening and welcome to the main news. I am Nabila Jogi.
And I am Alvin Matava, together with Susan Masona. She will be interpreting the bulletin in sign language. Marilyn will be joining us a little bit later from our Montrose studios. Let's take a look at our headlines. President Emmerson Mnangagwa urges research institutions to join forces for the benefit of the nation. He was speaking at the official opening of the National Research, Science, Technology and Innovation Conference in Harare.
And later on in business, Zimtrade intensifies its export promotion strategy through buyers' seminar.
Later on, when we look at our sports news, Ngezi Platinum coach Tekshua Shiragwi on the verge of taking Madamburo to the promised land.
And now let's take a look at our news in detail. In our first story, President Emmerson Mnangagwa says research institutions must work in unison as they thrive to answer to the needs of society through their innovations. He was speaking at the official opening of the inaugural National Research, Science, Technology and Innovation Conference in Harare this Monday. Let's get those details.
Key stakeholders converged in Harare this Monday for the inaugural National Research, Science, Technology and Innovation Conference, and a move expected to boost the contribution of research to economic growth and address the needs of industry. Attended by students and officials from institutions of higher learning, as well as various government departments and diplomats, the conference provided a platform to discuss various technological inventions. President Mnangagwa, who has on various platforms emphasized the critical role of young minds in growing the economy, encouraged collaboration among research institutions for the benefit of the nation.
As outlined in the National Development Strategy, I expect the commercialization of intellectual property through a coordinated, harmonious and effective research output value chain. To further accelerate our country's modernization and industrialization, we should never work in silos. Singleness of purpose and seamless cooperation, as well as structured academia-industry collaborations, are critically important and necessary.
Tertiary institutions were also challenged to ensure their research is relevant to the country's prevailing challenges, while also imploring researchers to learn from international best practice.
Gone are the days where researchers would research about why grasshoppers freeze in the winter. Research must be correctly contextualized into our present national needs as a people, the realities and development priorities of our country. As the adage goes, njere moto zinogokwa. I therefore urge you to seek to learn from your peers, from other institutions and communities, as well as progressive jurisdictions and cultures, to master technologies while adapting them to our local conditions.
The president emphasized that young people must be given the chance to dream and explore their capabilities.
We should be proud as a people to encourage our young people. Whether they make mistakes or they fail, we should continue to encourage our people to dream.
The media was also challenged to go a step further than just basic reportage and fully unpack the benefits of the various research projects to communities.
I call on the media to play its part in transition from merely reporting on the establishment of innovation hubs and industrial parks. Buildings do not deliver products and services. Instead, the media must unpack and enlighten our societies of the specific innovations and how these will change and impact the lives of our people.
The conference was organized by the Research Council of Zimbabwe. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, researchers and innovators who converged for the National Research Science, Technology and Innovation Conference believe that the country's investment in research is yielding positive results through the development of tangible innovations.
Zimbabwe is pursuing its development and industrialization agenda through investing in research and technology, with 16 science projects in various sectors now at different stages of implementation. Researchers and innovators are of the view that the country's research strategy is on course, judging by the transformative innovations being developed.
The introduction of Education 5.0 and the introduction of innovation hubs and industrial parks at universities have ushered in a totally new era in terms of stimulating purposed thinking, targeting goods and services as outputs of our research processes.
We are then promoting or encouraging our researchers to come up with novel innovations that can be registered as patents and then in future make money for themselves and for the institution.
The Research Council of Zimbabwe disclosed that it has committed more efforts in the mobilization of resources to fund research projects.
The Research Council of Zimbabwe is involved in funding research. Every year, calls for proposals are made inviting research proposals for funding.
The reconfiguration of the country's education system in 2018 was the turning point in promoting research, innovation, and technology.
Our education system in the NSTI must derive its curricula from our human needs, and our curricula must develop industry. This is what we need, so therefore our education, science, and technology system must be informed by what we need.
The country's vice presidents, General Retired Constantino Chiwenga and Comrade Kembo Mohadi, concurred that the country's research and innovation efforts dovetail with the thrust of creating homegrown solutions to Zimbabwe's challenges.
Research and development, science, innovation, and technology is a critical and inevitable cogwheel for industrialization and the growth of the economy. You will agree with me that the hosting of this conference is in line with the Guest of Honor's Heritage-Based Education 5.0, as well as the second Science, Technology and Innovation Policy of 2012.
I'm impressed that the expectations of His Excellency on the functionality and coordinative role of the Research Council of Zimbabwe over the national research, science and technology and the innovative sector seems to be moving in the right direction. I'm also enthused that the participants of this research conference were reminded to implement multi-sector cooperation and engagement in research.
The conference is focusing on coordinating and promoting research towards the attainment of Vision 2030 and beyond. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
And now in other news, Zimbabwe has emerged as the 7th biggest natural diamond producer on the globe, with output of over 4 million carats worth 420 million United States dollars annually. This was revealed in the latest production statistics released by the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme.
The Kimberley Process Certification Scheme, KPCS, which is the regulator of trade, production and processing of gems globally, has revealed in its latest rankings that Zimbabwe is among the top 10 diamond producing nations. The move comes at a time when the government is also expecting diamond production to contribute massively towards a $12 billion United States dollar mining industry by end of the year. Zimbabwe, which is currently chairing the KPCS, has accepted the rankings with a development economist Dr. Prosper Chitambara describing the move as an indication of global confidence in the country's diamond production.
By value adding, you're actually locking in capital and you are creating more opportunities for capital accumulation and even employment creation within that subsector.
According to the KPCS, Botswana is the biggest diamond producer globally with output valued at $4 billion US. Russia is second, followed by Angola, Canada, South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and Tanzania. In a related development, Zimbabwe will next month host the KPCS plenary session where several issues relating to the production of the commodity, trade and challenges will be at the core of discussions, with the United Arab Emirates expected to be the next chair of the global diamond regulator. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Travel agents from across the globe who are on a post-Sanganai Hlanganani tour in Victoria Falls have a sense of satisfaction after experiencing the best of the country's tourism industry.
What is left for the travel agents from Poland, Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda and Germany who were in Victoria Falls this Monday on a familiarization tour is to market tourism offerings such as the Victoria Falls and Hwange National Park, among others.
And this is something that has been on my bucket list for a long time, and today I'm seeing it and it feels very surreal. Zimbabwe has been amazing, and also one of the highlights of my trips apart from Victoria Falls is the Matopos.
Amazing place, amazing people, amazing landscape.
Victoria Falls, it's amazing. You go to Matobo, I would say also it's a breathtaking scenery. So from here, I am going to market to all African countries to come to Zimbabwe.
The recent activity in the sector has left tourism players convinced that the industry is on a rebound, adding that such tours are the best foot forward to further grow the industry.
They'll go there, back to their countries and starting marketing our business.
And I think business has really grown for the first half of the year, especially now we're looking at the season after COVID hit hard. Now things have improved a hell of a lot. We've got international clients coming in. Local tourism has also grown. People are coming into Victoria Falls to experience what we're doing.
Zimbabwe's tourism receipts increased from $340 million United States dollars last year to $400 million United States dollars in the first 8 months of the year. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The academia says the massive brain drain experienced in the country since the turn of the millennium is as a result of illegal sanctions imposed by the West. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, has more on this.
In December 2001, the United States Congress passed the Zimbabwe Democracy Economic Recovery Act, ZIDERA. That was a punitive law outside the United Nations purview to influence the politics of Zimbabwe, mainly over the land issue. 20 years of these punitive sanctions, Professor Elena Dohan of the United Nations Special Rapporteur in 2021 said the sanctions and secondary sanctions had a telling effect on the Zimbabwean economy to the tune of over $40 billion United States dollars, thousands of deaths, and other social effects on the population.
While recognizing the devastating consolidated effect of unilateral sanctions and overcompliance on the right to development of the Zimbabwean people, and also on the right to food, to health, to education and labor rights, I call on the government of Zimbabwe, in cooperation with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and the UN country team, to implement fully the cooperation agreement signed between them and to organize visits of relevant special procedures to the country. I call on the UN agencies and organizations, in cooperation with relevant humanitarian organizations, to organize monitoring of the negative humanitarian impact of unilateral sanctions within their respective spheres of interest.
Professor Peter Jimbo, at the helm of the Higher Education Council, speaks on this issue.
Despite the sanctions, this government has done a fantastic job in terms of actually
making sure that physical infrastructure is developed so that we can then use it to actually expand the development, the socio-economic and political development in the country. Our human capital is actually developing other countries because we are highly qualified and we are highly sought after. So hopefully this is why if the sanctions are removed, most of these people will come back. I mean, I'm a student of the international migration of human capital. There is a certain level where they've reached wherever they are and they're beginning to say, no, I should go back home.
At the end of the day, be it in health, education, infrastructure, elections, or any human endeavor in this country, leaving the sanctions albatross on the country's neck is missing the elephant in the room when discussing issues pertaining to Zimbabwe. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, government has emphasized the need for foreign diplomats to understand the separation of powers when analyzing actions of the executive, parliament and legislature. This was said by the acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Emon Murira, when he briefed African diplomats on the internal political situation in the country.
As he briefed African Union ambassadors accredited to Zimbabwe, Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Emon Murira, poured cold water on claims that other arms of state and political parties are interfering with operations of parliament. This comes after 15 CCC members of the National Assembly were recalled as the party battles internal fighting.
The government of the Republic of Zimbabwe respects the separation of powers as dictated by the Constitution. It is therefore important to note that Parliament has power to resolve any matter or dispute that might arise. Government takes note of statements from the political outfit whose members were recalled from Parliament. The unfounded aspersions and outright falsehoods seeking to embroil government and the ruling ZANU PF party in the recall process are without merit. For the avoidance of doubt and for the benefit of those unfamiliar with Zimbabwean laws, in terms of Section 129, subsection 1K of the Zimbabwe Constitution, recalls of members of Parliament are done by the political party to which the affected member belongs, by way of written notice to the Speaker of the National Assembly or President of Senate, and not by government.
He further maintained that there is no political crisis in Zimbabwe.
Where a political party in opposition and represented in Parliament of its own volition decides to remove itself, whether temporarily or permanently, from processes of the legislature, no constitutional crisis arises. No constitutional crisis of any kind, therefore, arises in a repeat. Parties or individuals reserve the right to participate or otherwise in national political processes. Zimbabwe has no law that compels participation by persons or organizations.
Professor Murira added that the country's political body provides platform for dialogue.
Zimbabwe's body politic provides for dialogue at all levels in Parliament, before, during, and after elections.
The acting foreign minister reiterated the call for the removal of illegal sanctions imposed on the country. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Preparations for the ZANU PF National People's Conference are at an advanced stage, with organisers confident of meeting the deadlines.
Contractors working at the Midlands Province Convention Centre, which is the home for this year's ZANU PF National People's Conference, are working round the clock to put the house in order before the dates of the national event commence. Organisers say they are now 65% complete, amid indications that the task at hand will be done well before the 27th of this month, when the conference commences.
Right now we are about between 65 and 70% complete in terms of refurbishments that are our convention facility. I must say that the refurbishment has clearly shown the unity that we have in the Midlands as Midlanders, as well as the response from the business community that is coming to assist us with the funding. And I must say that we can't wait for the conference to start and show off our facility, which is the only one amongst all the provinces.
The Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Owen Ngube, weighed in giving a breakdown of logistics that have been put in place this far.
But hopefully within 1 week will be done, because most of the work has already been completed.
The ZANU PF National People's Conference will be held from the 27th to the 28th of this month, with delegates expected to jet into Gweru on the 26th of this month. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
Looking at health-related issues, at least 150 children are set to benefit from a free tonsillectomy surgical camp, which is underway at ZANU PF Central Hospital in Harare as government accelerates access to quality healthcare services. We get that report from our health editor, Abigail Tembo.
With a target of operating 25 children a day for the next 5 days, doctors at ZANU PF Central Hospital are hoping to clear the backlog of children with tonsillitis, which had accumulated during the COVID-19 era. Parents and guardians coming from as far as Wange, Bulawayo, Chiredzi and Mount Darin commended government for the free surgical procedure, which costs an average of $1,000 United States at private hospitals.
I've been through a lot with this child, so I'm very happy about this program, and I couldn't wait. Now I got the date for the operation tomorrow on the 17th, and I've got a hope it is going to be successful.
Since 16 October, ndafara ndiona vana vangu vachiopareta. Ndaimbochema akagara ari apa ndaichema aimboita ungati afa nematanzonzi aya.
Chirongwa chakanaka chinoita kuti ivo kunyangwe nevane homwe dzakasara vange vachibatsirika.
Ear, nose and throat specialist Dr. Rovimbo Ndrenge, who is leading the team of specialists, urged parents to adopt good health-seeking behaviors.
If left untreated, some children may have problems with breathing, which lead to them opting to breathe rather than to feed. Hence, we have children with failure to thrive, which means that their feeding will be a problem. Hence, their weight gain will be a problem. Some also have problems with growth because their heart or their cardiac system or their heart will be using more power or more effort to pump blood around the heart. Hence, they may end up with heart problems.
ZANU PF Children's Hospital, which is the country's biggest children's referral hospital, runs a weekly clinic where an average 14 children undergo tonsillectomy surgeries. A tonsillectomy surgery to remove the tonsils, which are lumps of tissue on both sides of the back of the throat that help the immune system protect the body from infections. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
We have more news on our website. Log on to www.zbcnews.co.zw.
You can also visit our X handle at ZBC News Online, as well as our Facebook page under the same handle at ZBC News Online. Also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is also under the same handle at ZBC News Online. But still to come in this bulletin.
In our business news, Zimtrade intensifies its export promotion strategy through Buyers Seminar.
And later on in sport, Ngezi Platinum coach takes Chiragwi on the verge of taking Madame Buro to the promised land.
The main news takes a short break. Stay with us.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe. This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
ZBC Current Affairs, leading the conversation on local, regional and international news. We bring you the stories that shape the nation and the world. Be it social trends, economic and political developments, State of the Nation addresses, independence celebrations, Heroes and Defense Forces Day commemorations, and other national events. We bring them to you as they happen. With an array of informative programming, we bring you face-to-face with the decision makers as we unpack complex issues, giving you a platform to be part of the conversation. You can choose to face the nation and combat crime while talking farming. But remember to keep your vision 2030 with ZBC Current Affairs. Together, Sonke, Tese, we will track and implement NDS1 to realize a better Zimbabwe.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Zimbabwe is hoping for a peaceful resolution to the escalating situation in the Middle East, which has entered the second week.
The conflict between Israel and Hamas is now in its second week, but the global community is not giving up on a peaceful resolution. After meeting his Algerian counterpart, Honorable Ahmed Attaf, on the sidelines of the Nordic Africa Foreign Ministers meeting in Algiers this Monday, Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister, Ambassador Frederick Shava, said the impasse reflects the unresolved issues relating to the state of Palestine, reiterating support for a two-state nation.
We jointly expressed our dismay at the current situation obtaining in Gaza, where violence continues to claim innocent lives. From our perspective as Zimbabwe, the current situation is a symptom of the unresolved question of Palestine. We therefore reiterated our unequivocal support for the two-state solution and the resumption of a peace process that will deliver a just solution to the Palestinian people.
Algeria was recently elected to the United Nations Security Council for the period covering 2024 to 2025. Meanwhile, Israel says there is no temporary truce to allow aid in of foreigners out of the Gaza Strip, as fears over the dire humanitarian situation faced by millions of Palestinians trapped in the heavily bombarded enclave. Israel declared war on the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas a day after waves of fighters broke through the heavily fortified border on the 7th of this month. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has warned that the entire region is on the verge of abyss as scenes of panic, anger and despair are at every corner in Gaza. More than 4,100 people have been killed in the Palestine-Israel conflict as the death toll keeps going up.
We now cross over to our Montrose studios where Marilyn Ngwenya is on standby for us. Good evening to you, Marilyn.
Good evening and many thanks to you, Nabila. And now in our following report, as the country's journeys towards attainment of Vision 2030, government is seized with ensuring agriculture becomes a vehicle for employment creation and a practical tool for transforming livelihoods.
Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuga has underscored the need to ensure the sector plays a pivotal role in transforming livelihoods in line with the objectives of Vision 2030. He was speaking when he officially opened a 5-day strategic planning workshop for the ministry in Bulawayo this Monday.
The thrust of this strategic review workshop is to build on the successes that we've had in the agricultural sector, wherein we've been able to produce enough to feed the nation over the past 3 years. So we've now said what we want is food security everywhere, every day. To do so, we need to climate-proof agriculture at 2 levels. First, at household level, which is our operating unit, to be able to do successfully the intensive climate-proofed agriculture for Vunza Intwasa, minimum 3 plots. And then at national level, we must accelerate the rehabilitation and development of irrigation to get to the 350,000 hectares.
Beyond food security, the ministry is also targeting value addition.
We want to be able to build on oil security. We are importing crude oils worth about 300 million annually. And we believe that with more cotton, with more sunflower, and with more soybean, we'll be able to achieve self-sufficiency in that sector.
Over the past 3 years, the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development has recorded remarkable success in food security, with the country attaining wheat self-sufficiency and now eyeing exports.
The Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training has vowed to place youths at the center of national development and decision-making processes. More details from the following report.
Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training officials converged in Harare this Monday to deliberate on how youths can contribute towards the government's vision of becoming an upper middle income society by 2030. In his keynote address, Minister Tinoma Chakaire rallied his ministry to create space for young people to take the lead in economic development.
The youth must be the leaders of today. In other words, young people must be placed at the center of all national development and decision-making processes. This is what youth empowerment means. We must create space for them to lead, and that is why we've lobbied for a youth quota in all national institutions.
Government is also seized with upscaling the fight against the drug and substance abuse.
This ministry has been mandated to lead the drug and substance abuse demand reduction pillar. Therefore, we need to develop a clear strategy in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and Child Care and Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare on drug and substance abuse. I further want to see our ministry taking a leadership role in research and mitigation of drugs and substance abuse problem.
The need to revamp and modernize vocational training centers to match regional and international standards was also topical during the engagement. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Government is working on modalities to address digital connectivity disparities in line with the country's inclusive development agenda and digital economy targets.
Government has expressed concern over the digital gap between urban and rural areas amid indications from the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe that the country's internet penetration rate is hovering at above 60%. Addressing a strategic planning workshop in Chinhoyi this Monday, the Minister of Information, Communication Technology, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, noted the need to address digital connectivity gaps.
We believe that we also need to work
as my Minister of ICT, so that we have a high-speed broadband coverage, and also make sure that at least we reach out to most rural areas, and also address a strategy that will also address digital connectivity disparities. I also believe that we should also anchor our strategy on infrastructure and services, policy, legislation, and also some regulations that we need to put in place.
We believe that we should not leave any place or anyone behind, and as such we would want every one of us to be connected in the rural areas. To that end, we are saying we should actually put up infrastructure that will enable our people to be connected. Be they in the valleys, be they on top of the mountains, we will do it.
Mashonaland West Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Marian Chombo, expressed concern over high cost of internet services in Zimbabwe.
It is nothing to be proud of that many years after identifying the fact that communication and broadband costs in Zimbabwe are much higher than in comparable countries in our region, progress to address this matter has been rather slow, and services used by our people have remained expensive and in some instances unaffordable.
Plans to expand free Wi-Fi zones for education purposes through collaboration and partnerships with service providers and the issue of digitization of the Zimbabwe Post Company also dominated deliberations. Tambao Gagora, ZBC News, Chinoi.
Main news continues from Pocket Hill Studios in Harare, and Nabila is on standby. Nabila, it's back to you.
Thank you so much to Marilyn, as well as the team behind the scenes at our Montrose studios. Welcome back to Pocket Hill. Proceeding with our bulletin. The bilateral relations between Zimbabwe and Russia continue to grow from strength to strength, with the two nations set to cooperate in areas of communication and culture. Let's get those details.
Zimbabwe's engagement and re-engagement drive continues to pay dividends, with the latest offspring being the launch of the Center for Russian Language and Professional Communication at the University of Zimbabwe this Monday. The scope of the center is to promote professional communication and economic ties.
The significance of having this center is that for us to be more effective and sustainable in building the ecosystem we are trying to build, anchored on science, technology, and innovation under the Education 5.0. We would need to ground ourselves in terms of language also, understanding other people's cultures, and also being versatile in how we interact and communicate with others.
Russian Ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Nikolai Krasnokov, stressed the importance of increasing cooperation between the two countries.
We are proud that such partnership is gaining momentum in Zimbabwe as our strategic partner in Africa, and through learning Russian language, we enhance our cooperation.
The Second Republic, under the stewardship of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has seen an extensive engagement and re-engagement drive being pursued with the various countries across the globe. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The country's health delivery sector has benefited immensely from the devolution program after another new clinic was constructed in Chipinge. Tamuka Charakupa reports.
The construction of a clinic and staff quarters has come as a huge relief for the residents of Musirizwi in Chipinge Rural, who have been traveling up to 15 kilometers to the nearest health facility. The health facility was constructed using devolution funds, much to the delight of the local community.
Madzimai akazvitakura vaya vaikwanisa kutozosunungira munzira vasati vasvika kuclinic. Saka noona kuti hurumende yakabatsira kuunza chipatara ichi. Chabatsirika nechikoro Musirizwi Primary, ndisa head home Musirizwi Primary School. Ndinoona chikoro chichibatsirika, vana vechikoro vanokuwara vechiita sporting. Saka vanenge vakukwanisa kubatsirwa since clinic yava pedyo nesu.
Zvotibatsira kuti
tikurumidze kuvatiriwa tiri padhuze nekuti wataenda paka kuine distance watairapirwa kwachona saka zvisaredza kuti munhu apo unenge uchirwadziwa.
Tinodazve kuti dai chatopera nekukasira kuti kasire kutosununguka nemhuri dzedu kuya korapwa pano. Vamweni tinotorwara tichifamba asi tinoshingira kuenda kure.
Chipinge Rural District Council Chief Executive Officer Mr. Blessing Mamvocha gave an insight into the health-related projects implemented under the devolution program in the district.
We have constructed infrastructure at Checheche Polyclinic. We have also constructed the mother's shelter at Junction Gate Clinic, which is found in Ward 8. Ward 18, we have also constructed a nurse's house, which is found in Ward 18.
The government is also establishing community health centers across the country as part of efforts to decentralize health services and decongest district health centers. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chipinge.
And now in other news, more than 50 job seekers have been left counting their losses after they were duped by a bogus international employment agent who allegedly swindled them of a combined 40,000 United States dollars.
Dreams of working abroad have been shattered for 53 healthcare students who lost cash to a suspected fraudster who had promised to secure employment for them. Takunda McDonald Fende, aged 27, allegedly targeted students in their final year before each of the 53 students paid 850 United States dollars for a sponsorship certificate, but nothing materialized. The accused, who was arrested after he failed to honor his end of the bargain, was released on 300 United States dollars bail when he appeared in court this Monday. Meanwhile, another suspected fraudster who left a homesicker counting his losses after losing over 5,000 United States dollars in a botched deal appeared in court this Monday. 46-year-old Dani Huruyadzo allegedly misrepresented to the complainant that he had 2 houses for sale in Zwarasekwa before he received deposit for the properties. The accused, however, became evasive before he was reported to the police and charged with fraud. He was released on 200 United States dollars bail. Still at the courts, a 25-year-old commuter omnibus conductor who allegedly killed a passenger after pushing him off a moving vehicle appeared in court this Monday, charged with murder. The altercation occurred after a misunderstanding over a torn US dollar note. He was remanded in custody to the 27th of this month for routine remand. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Fungai Jachi looking at our courts and crime stories. When we come back, we'll look at the money market in our business news.
Made with pure mango and available in a mouth-watering 500 milliliter pack. Now you and your family can enjoy Dama fruit juice from your nearest retailer.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
You have helped build Tel One. A better Tel One and the world around us. A better world where we can live together, learn together, play together, work together, grow together. Our journey together continues today. Now we must focus on making our future even better. A better future for our children. Join us and let us do this together. Tell one, the future is better together.
The Commissioner General of Police, Tandabantu Godwin Matanda, Deputy Commissioner Generals, Commissioners,
officers and members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police and their families congratulate Justice Lois Matanda Moyo on her appointment as the Prosecutor General of Zimbabwe by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Justice Matanda Moyo's appointment as the first female Prosecutor General is clear testimony of His Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's resolve to reward excellence regardless of one's gender. Justice Matanda Moyo is a seasoned legal practitioner who served with distinction as chairperson of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, ZAG. She has vast experience in the justice delivery system, having served as a magistrate, state advisor in the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, State Council, Criminal Division of the Attorney General Prosecuting in High and Supreme Courts, Director Public Prosecution, Judge of the Labour Court, and ultimately High Court of Zimbabwe. Above all, Justice Matanda Moyo has served as chairperson of the Land Acquisition Task Force and represented Zimbabwe in international cases on human rights. The Zimbabwe Republic Police is privileged to continue tapping from the vast knowledge and experience of the astute incoming Prosecutor General of Zimbabwe. As we celebrate this appointment, the entire Zimbabwe Republic Police Command renews its affirmation and pledge to work closely with her office in effectively delivering justice to the people of Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe Republic Police wishes Justice Matanda Moyo a fruitful tenure of office as the Prosecutor General of Zimbabwe. Congratulations, Makorokoto, Amhlope.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe. This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
In our look at business, the country's trade promotion body, Zimtrade, is intensifying its export promotion strategy through a buyers seminar, which will be attended by delegates from non-traditional markets in Harare this week.
Fresh from the successful Global Expo Botswana in Gaborone, it is yet another busy week for Zimtrade as two key events are lined up to continue propping up Zimbabwe's exports to the world. A buyers seminar is set to take place in Harare on Wednesday to strengthen linkages with leading buyers from Qatar, Sweden and Russia, who are being engaged to trade with local suppliers.
We are inviting buyers as well as a precursor to this event. On Wednesday, we are having a buyers conference, if you like. But before that, these buyers are arriving today. And so tomorrow, Tuesday, we are taking them to visit various suppliers here in Harare, in the areas that they are interested in. So we are having buyers from 5 countries. These are from the region as well as overseas.
The buyers seminar will precede the annual Exporters Conference and the Exporter of the Year Awards to be held on 19 October. The theme of the conference this year is Exporting into the Future, which is in line with the country's target to become an upper middle income society by 2030. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that story wraps up our look at business news. We now dive straight into the world of the arts, where music lovers were left disappointed after some entertainment shows held over the weekend failed to live up to expectations.
Nigerian Afrobeats musician Era Star, who made her debut in Zimbabwe at the Sunshine Cup this Saturday, did not meet the expectations of music lovers who thronged Harare's Borodo racecourse. Music lovers have taken to social media to register their disgruntlement over Era, who, according to them, robbed them of their hard-earned cash after she lip-synced instead of performing with a live band. Other international stars Casper Nyovest and Nasty C, who performed at Alexander Sports Club at a show dubbed African Throne Tour, lived up to their billing according to social media users.
First I got slept on, then I got a bag, now your boy get shit on. You see the sun bitten off, we just fucking up the light bill now, cause boy we been on.
Local acts Volts JT, Hollyton and Michael Maggs also gave breathtaking performances. Meanwhile, music fans have taken to social media imploring arts promoters to prioritize local musicians who give them value for their money. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Too many big names, different venues. Well, we had to choose. When we come back, we look at our sports news.
Imagine a future where Zimbabwe's mineral wealth is fully harnessed, fueling a vibrant and prosperous economy. At the forefront of this economic transformation stands one industry: mining. Join fellow visionaries who share your aspirations for this future from the 1st to the 3rd of November in Bulawayo at Mine Entra 2023. As the gateway to boundless prospects in mining and mineral enrichment in Zimbabwe, Mine Entra brings together experts in mining, transportation, engineering and construction industries. Mine Entra 2023, accelerating economic transformation through mineral beneficiation.
Welcome back, and let's take a look at our sports news. In our first story, Ngezi Platinum coach Takeshore Chiragwi has taken the Premier Soccer League by storm, with the youthful coach on the verge of taking the ambitious Mondoro-based side to the promised land.
A number of big names have come and gone without delivering the coveted league title that ambitious Ngezi Platinum Stars have been craving for since they joined the big boys in 2016. The likes of Tondirai Ndirai, Rodol Hlagama and Benjani Mwarwaru have tried but fell short of expectations. While Ndirai delivered the Chibuku Super Cup, the league remained elusive. After working as an understudy to Hlagama and Mwarwaru, no one gave Chiragwi a chance. The July decision to entrust Chiragwi with reins is however paying off after the gaffer begged the Coach of the Month accolade twice in August and September and is on course to end Ngezi Platinum's hunt for the coveted crown. The Mondoro-based outfit is now 5 wins away from reaching an unassailable 69 points, while the pair of defending champions FC Platinum and Highlanders can only go as far as 67 points if they win all their remaining 7 games. Ngezi Platinum are now 8 points clear after edging past Chicken Inn at Baobab, while second place the FC Platinum dropped points after being humbled by ZPC Kariba at Nyamuga Stadium. FC Platinum are now jointly tied with third placed Highlanders on 46 points, although the superior goal difference. New boys Simba Bora increased their survival chances after collecting maximum points with a victory over Bulawayo Chiefs at Luveve to take their tally to 35, occupying 8th position. Cranbourne Bullets picked a point on the road after frustrating Highlanders in a new all-share of spoils, although the point did not help much as they anchored the log on 18th position with 22 points. Harare Giants Caps United eased their relegation worries after back-to-back victories completed with a 1-0 victory over Shisham. Makepekepe now sit on 10th position with 33 points. Triangle United's victory over Wange did little to move them out of the relegation matrix as the Sugar Boys remained 16th with 29 points. Mthokozisi Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Still looking at football, but on the national level, the Zimbabwe Football Association has been challenged to cultivate strong relations with the business community to ensure national teams are adequately funded.
The Zimbabwe senior women football team, the Mighty Warriors, had a fairly good run at the Council of Southern African Football Association's COSAFA Women's Championship, where they finished 4th after an 18-month suspension from international football. The team's efforts did not go unnoticed after Zimbabwe's embassy in South Africa and corporates based in the neighboring country held a dinner in honor of the Mighty Warriors Sunday evening. The dinner was attended by COSAFA President Atudi Almeida Silva, Malawi Football Association President Walter Nyamilandu, a former Warriors captain Peter Ndlovu, and the Zimbabwean business leaders based in South Africa. Zimbabwe's top envoy to South Africa, Ambassador David Chamadziripi, challenged ZIFA to work hand in glove with the corporate world.
What you have here is a partnership between the embassy and Zimbabwean companies here in South Africa. This is a very valuable constituency that you have, and you can see they are willing to work with you.
One of the corporates who helped organize the dinner is Zorro Pumlani, which has been constantly supporting Zimbabwean sport from football, netball to boxing.
To be where we are, we've also been given opportunity and we've been supported. So firstly, our business is supported by the more than 120,000 members that are in our database. So without them, we cannot support.
Legendary former Warriors captain Peter Ndlovu challenged the Mighty Warriors to harness the power of sport. The Mighty Warriors are appreciative of the honor having represented the country to the best of their ability. Zimbabwe finished fourth at the tournament, won by Malawi after dethroning Zambia. The Mighty Warriors have since arrived back home after touching down at the Robert Mugabe International Airport Monday morning. Lawrence Tusida, ZBC News, Johannesburg.
Now, the 16-member Zimbabwe squad named for the 2023 African Junior Swimming and Open Water Championships has stepped up preparations for the tournament slated for Mauritius later this year.
Zimbabwe junior swimmers are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that they are ready to compete with the best at continental level. After getting feedback from clubs on individual performances of the African Aquatics Junior Championships, Zimbabwe Swimming believes the team has a promising cast of swimmers. Zimbabwe Swimming has a strong 16-member delegation comprising 8 girls and an equal number of boys that will compete at the Africa Aquatics Junior Swimming Championships in Mauritius from the 6th to the 9th of December. The Zimbabwe Junior Swimming team will be under the watchful eye of Paulani Ngwenya, assisted by Kathy Law.
From swimming to basketball, 5 countries will battle it out in the Basketball Africa League qualifiers set for Gaborone in Botswana from the 18th to the 22nd of this month.
Zimbabwe will be represented by Harare's JBC in the 5 Nations tournament, which also has 3 Zimbabwean coaches guiding the teams. 5 countries, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Namibia and host Botswana, will tussle it out in the FIBA and NBA sanctioned club championship zonal competition. Zimbabwean champions JBC are determined to rub shoulders with the best in the region and join the last group of 16.
We basically wanted to tune our players physiologically, given that they were coming from a long off season. We've been progressing in that realm, and we then moved on to skills, technical competencies, and then strategies. So these have been progressing well.
The Basketball Union of Zimbabwe is confident the country's representatives will steal the show.
This is a competition which is for all the champions, club champions across the continent. So from a Zimbabwe perspective, we'll be represented by JBC, who won the club championships last year in May in Harare, so they'll be representing Zimbabwe.
Meanwhile, the annual Kanyisile basketball tournament will return for the second edition from the 27th to 29th of October in a different format after accommodating teams from Harare and Midlands provinces. Group A men will feature Lakers, Talent Vision, Southern Mavericks, Mahogany and Falcon, while Group B men will have Arcadia Bucks, Warriors, Young Stars and Legends. In the ladies category, Group A will see Lakers, Mzansi, Mahogany, Highlanders and Vixens battling it out. Group B will feature UZ Sparks, Arcadia Bucks and Bulawayo City Towers. Mthokozi Stuve, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that story wraps up our sports news. Up next, the weather.
Good evening, Zimbabwe. My name is Baba Maketa with today's weather report and forecast. The cloud system currently affecting the country resulted in precipitation in the southern half of the country, with Matopos receiving 32 millimeters in 24 hours, Kwekwe 23 and Bulawayo 20 millimeters. From the satellite picture taken earlier on today, we saw the cloud band covering much of the country. However, it was more dense in the southern provinces, and it showed that it is moving from the west to the eastern parts of the country. Our forecast, therefore, tomorrow, we're expecting much precipitation to be concentrated in the eastern parts of the country, that is Manicaland, Mashonaland East, Mashonaland Central, and Mashonaland West provinces. Our temperatures in detail, we're expecting Harare to have a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius and a minimum of 15. Loyo 28 and 16, Gweru 25 and 14, Mutare 26 and 17, Kwekwe 31 and 15, Kadoma 32 and a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius. Masvingo should have scattered thunder showers later in the day with a maximum of 25 and a minimum of 15, Chinoi 28 and 16, Lupane 34 and a minimum of 19, Bindura 28 and 18, Marunda 25 and 14, and Gwanda should have again scattered thunder showers later in the day with a maximum of 25 and a minimum of 15. Our holiday resort areas, we're expecting Kariba and Victoria Falls to remain hot with a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius each and a minimum of 20 for Victoria Falls and 25 for Kariba. Great Zimbabwe should expect thunder showers later in the day with a maximum of 25 and a minimum of 14. Nyanga 19 and 12, Matopos 27 and 16, Chimanimani 20 and 13. Our outlook, we are expecting the precipitation to be concentrated over the eastern parts of the country, that is Manikale and Mashinale East and Harare metropolitan provinces. The rest of the country should remain partly cloudy. Thank you, Zimbabwe. That's all we had for you today.
That report from the Meteorological Services Department, capping off our bulletin. From myself, Malvin Matara.
And myself, Nabila Jogi, as well as Susan Musona on sign language, as well as Marilyn and the team in Montrose. We thank you so much for joining us. Good night.